Can you change your vote in Arizona? It's one of the top Googled questions, and we've got the answer.
Plus, PolitiTalk, how younger voters are getting their voices heard and showing who they support this election through the popular TikTok app.
And later this half hour, we'll break down how the Latino vote could impact the race to the White House.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Mackenzie Ellen Charmley.
And I'm Dylan McKim. Thank you for joining us. On the eve of election night 2020, the presidential and Senate races in Arizona are tightening. So will Arizona be flipped blue? Cronkite News reporter Sean Rice joins us now with the latest poll numbers on these contested races. Sean?
President Trump has closed the gap on Democratic challenger Joe Biden here in Arizona. According to Data Orbital, the candidates are now within 1 percentage point of each other when it comes to winning Arizona and the state's 11 electoral college votes. Of the 550 general election voters surveyed, 45.3% said they'd vote for Trump and 45.9% would elect Joe Biden. Just 0.6% of voters said they were firmly undecided. Data Orbital suggests the gap has closed because Republican voters are coming back to Trump. Plus, the 12 to 13% of Republican votes that Biden was taking is now down to 7.5%. George Kaloff, the president of Data Orbital, gave us his prediction for both races today.
My prediction right now is that the presidential race, we have it changed from toss-up to now leans Republicans. We do believe that President Trump will take it. We think he has the momentum in his back, and the way that the numbers are lining up still favors him. I think it's his race to lose. And I believe on the U.S. Senate race, we are taking that prediction from a leans Democrat to now a pure toss-up. But we also feel like the momentum is there to be able to allow Senator McSally to cross the finish line.
The survey also shows Martha McSally is receiving 46% of the vote, and Democrat Mark Kelly is polling at 47.1%, with 2.6% still undecided. Similar to the presidential race, the switch in trends can be attributed to the increased Republican traction as we get within 24 hours of election night. Millions of Americans have already cast their ballots ahead of this election day, smashing mail-in and early voting records and raising election officials' hopes that the eye-popping early vote totals will erase the potential problems, chaos, and conflict at the polls tomorrow. In the studio, Sean Rice, Cronkite News.
With the unconventional nature of voting in this year's election, many Arizonans have understandably had questions. One of those being, if I voted early, can I change my vote? Jay Coulter walks us through it.
The COVID-19 pandemic has forced the world to adapt in just about every facet of life, including how the public votes in elections. This year, we've seen record numbers of early voting and vote by mail in order for people to protect themselves and to alleviate overcrowding at the polls. But since it may have been many people's first time voting early, some are now wondering if they can change their vote, according to Google Trends. Any Arizona voter who registered for an early ballot had about a month to make their decision before Election Day. A culmination of delayed presidential debates, campaign visits that are happening to this day, and just the overall extra time has probably caused some voters to decide that they want to switch their vote. Unfortunately, Arizona voters cannot make any changes to their ballot once submitted, as Arizona does not allow second chance voting. However, if the early ballot is filled out but has yet to be sent in, the voter can vote in person for their new choice. If a voter chooses to do so, ID will be required, and then the early mail-in ballot will become void. Jay Coulter, Cronkite News.
If you do decide to vote in person, polls open at 6 a.m. tomorrow and will close at 7 p.m.
So far, more than 93 million Americans have cast their vote. But the campaign believes there's still more to be done, especially in the crucial swing states. So today, President Donald Trump will be barnstorming the battleground states of North Carolina, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin in his re-election bid's final hours, like he did in 2016.
We are going to win 4 more years in that very beautiful place called the White House. With your vote, we will continue to cut your taxes, cut regulations, support our great police.
This election, Trump faces an electorate grappling with the twin crisis of the coronavirus pandemic and an economic recession. Meanwhile, Biden's campaign is eyeing states like Georgia, Texas, and Arizona, which could be flipped. The former vice president has put steady experience at the core of his campaign pitch and criticizing Trump's character and especially his handling of the coronavirus pandemic.
We're done. We're tired of the tweets, the anger, the hate, the failure, the irresponsibility.
President Trump has said his tweets are the only way he can get a message directly to voters. But candidates and campaigns are not the only ones using social media to spread the word, as Cronkite News reporter Carolina Hassett reports from our Washington bureau.
President Trump made Twitter a vital part of the campaign toolkit with his 2016 campaign. But this year, there's a new social media app on the block, TikTok. And what started as a hobby has quickly become the election app of choice for some young voters. Gearing up for a big election, there are many ways to motivate people to vote.
This is our moment. This is our mission.
The best is yet to come.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
But to Arizona TikToker Muscles and Nursing, that's just noise. He thinks there's a better way.
I listen better to my people than, those people who are running the campaigns. I think you can have more of an impact with that.
Because TikTok does not allow political ads, experts agree the app lets people connect and educate each other on issues and candidates without interference from politicians, which may influence voters more.
People are connecting in different ways than they have before. And just getting an ad on TV is not going to move a voter.
Campbell thinks social media gives candidates the opportunity to connect with their voters before sending in their ballots.
We have all seen Kamala Harris coming off the plane in her Converse. We have seen that video over and over and over again, and you connect with her as a candidate when you are a 20, 30-something-year-old wearing your own Converse.
With over 47,000 followers, Phoenix TikToker Rye Taylor uses her platform to encourage those who may feel alone when it comes to certain political issues.
I feel like it's important to let people know that they're not the only ones who feel that way or want to vote the way that they vote.
Arizona political consultant Paul Bentz has seen the power of TikTok firsthand. Because of the app, he says his young daughters know
more about this election than I ever knew as a 14-year-old, and I have to assume at least some of that comes from avenues like TikTok.
The Trump administration has threatened to ban the Chinese-developed app as a security risk, but users say they will find ways to share on the app because of what it gives them.
I am a Latino woman and I am lesbian. And I feel like it's important that people understand that they're voting for human rights at this point.
I'm not voting for one person or another. I'm voting for somebody who believes in science and is going to protect nurses.
The Trump administration has said several times it would block TikTok, but the latest move was blocked last week by a federal judge. And TikTok's fans are confident it will be around for a long time to come. In Washington, Carolina Hassett, Cronkite News.
In case you need help getting to the polls tomorrow, you'll have several options. Rideshare companies Uber and Lyft are offering discounted rates to polling locations. Lyft is offering half off one ride up to $10 to any polling place or drop-off location using the code 2020VOTE. And Uber is offering half off round-trip rides to and from polling locations up to $7 each way or $14 round-trip. The car rental company Hertz will be giving you one freebie day when you rent for 2 or more days starting today. And the nonprofit organizations Mi Familia Vota and Next Gen America will offer free rides for voters.
If you live in Maricopa County, there are over 100 voting locations you can go to drop off ballots or vote in person. Just go to recorder.maricopa.gov/pollingplace to see a complete list of locations. All you have to do is type in your address and the closest polling place will pop up, depending on what services you need. All locations will show their hours, estimated wait times, and how many people are in line at the moment. You can count on Arizona PBS for your election night coverage. PBS NewsHour national coverage starts at 6 p.m. on PBS 8.1. After that, stay tuned for Arizona Horizon's local election coverage from 10 to 11. On 8.3, you can watch Cronkite News election coverage from 7 to 8. Then Indian Country Today will provide coverage until 10 p.m.
A member of the White House's coronavirus task force may be skating on thin ice. During President Trump's campaign stop in Florida yesterday, the crowd started chanting "Fire Fauci." They were referring to Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's leading expert on infection diseases. The president responded, appearing to suggest he would do just that.
Don't tell anybody, but let me wait till a little bit after the election. I appreciate the advice. I appreciate that. No, he's been wrong on a lot. He's a nice man, though. He's been wrong on a lot.
Over the past few months, Trump and Fauci have been at odds regarding COVID-19. On Saturday, Fauci told the Washington Post that the Trump administration mishandled the pandemic. Fauci previously said he doesn't brief the president on the issue and has been replaced by Dr. Scott Atlas. As of today, there have been more than 9.2 million cases in the U.S., with more than 230,000 fatalities, according to Johns Hopkins University. Here in Arizona, health officials reported 666 new coronavirus cases this morning and 1 additional death. This brings the state's totals to over 248,000 cases and nearly 6,000 deaths related to the virus.
With COVID-19 cases continuing to climb, everyone is at risk, including Arizona athletes. Cronkite News reporter Rachel Phillips gives us the latest on the current outbreak with the Cardinals.
The Cardinals had 2 players test positive for COVID-19 over the weekend. Former Desert Vista standout linebacker Devin Kennard announced on Twitter today that he is one of the players. The other is former Saguaro High School player cornerback Byron Murphy. It's not all bad news for the 5-2 team. The contact tracing shows there was minimal impact, and all tests came back negative on Sunday.
We knew that we were going up against a virus this year, as well as playing football teams, and we knew at some point this would be something that we would have to deal with.
Guys, I think have a good understanding of how we'll handle this, how we'll move forward, and we can't let it affect our mentality or how we approach the next week's game.
The team practiced early today after coming off a bye week and is scheduled to host the 4-3 Miami Dolphins on Sunday, with kickoff set for 2:25. In the Broadcast Center, Rachel Phillips, Cronkite News.
Coming up next on Cronkite News, Pac12 patience. We'll tell you how Pac12 players are making the most of their unexpected time off to learn more about the game of football.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and local content from your PBS station.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. I don't go anywhere without my passport. Thanks to PBS Passport, you can watch all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. And when you support your local station, you can get PBS Passport, giving you access to more episodes, more specials, more of what you love.
The Pac-12 Conference is the last of the Power 5 to start football. Kelsey Khaleesi has the story on what players have been doing as they wait for kickoff.
To the end zone.
From the ACC to the Big Ten, college football players have returned to the field. But out here in the West, Pac-12 players are being told to wait, and players are being as patient as possible. Oregon State's Jamar Jefferson put it succinctly.
It's good, but it's bad.
Arizona quarterback Grant Gunnell says he watches other teams reluctantly.
I've been watching college football every Saturday because I don't really have anything else to do. So,
due to precautions based on the COVID-19 pandemic, the Pac-12 didn't declare it would even have a season until most school seasons were underway. But after a long wait, Pac-12 fans can sit back on their couch and watch as their teams take the field starting November 7th. In the meantime, Utah's Britton Covey said him and his teammates had to take on a different role.
I feel like everybody's kind of becoming a student of the game.
Players are learning. Quarterbacks Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Jaden Daniels have taken the time to learn and get inspired.
Just being able to watch a few quarterbacks here and there and how they handle situations, I've definitely learned a lot from that too.
I'm very interested in watching the guys that are in my class, Spencer Rattler, Bo Nix, Sam Howell, just seeing what those guys are doing so far. Just happy for their success.
Washington's Elijah Molden and Colorado's William Sherman focus on how each team deals with the off-field competition, COVID.
COVID's kind of the great equalizer, and the teams that are able to manage it have a much better chance at beating a team that might, be more talented than them. So
it just goes to show you that, anyone can, be successful this year, and everything is up for grabs.
With only 2 appearances since the beginning of the college football playoff, the Pac-12 Conference would love to see the postseason. In Los Angeles, Kelsey Calasi, Cronkite News.
The Pac-12 kicks off its 7-game conference-only schedule this Saturday.
Finally tonight, an asteroid is set to scream past Earth just before Election Day. But don't worry, the 6.5-foot space rock isn't big enough to do any damage. Renowned astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson said the refrigerator-sized asteroid may, quote, buzz cut Earth Monday. But he said it's too small to cause harm. Plus, according to USA Today, NASA previously said there's only a 0.41% chance it will enter our atmosphere, and even then, it would disintegrate because it's so small. Asteroid 2018 VP1, as it is called, was discovered in 2018. That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.